So the UK Visas and Immigration has just updated the minimum salary threshold for a skilled worker visa. If you go to the UK government website, which is the gov.uk, you will see that this information has been updated. Now it says here, you must meet all the following requirements to be eligible for a skilled worker visa. Every other requirement stays the same. However, the third one, which has to do with the minimum salary, says you'll be paid at least the minimum salary rate for the type of work you'll be doing. The minimum salary for the type of work you'll be doing is whichever is the highest of 41,700 per year, or the going rate for the type of work you'll be doing. So before now, this amount was 38,700. However, this has now been updated to 41,700 per year. So that means for you to get a skilled worker visa in the UK, the work must pay you the minimum salary for the type of work you'll be doing. Now, it says whichever is the highest. You will usually need to be paid the standard salary rate of at least 41,700 per year, or the going rate for your job, whichever is higher. For example, your salary is 42,000 per year, but the annual going rate for the job you'll be doing is 45,000 per year. You do not meet the usual salary requirements for this job because they say whichever is higher. That's the new skilled worker visa requirement. However, there are lots of exceptions and you may qualify for that exception. So it says here the minimum salary may be lower if you are extending your skilled worker visa or if you are updating it because you have a new job or employer. So this exception will apply to people who are currently already on a skilled worker visa and then would like to extend their visa or update their visa either because they have changed jobs or they have a new employer. Now, another exception would be if you work in healthcare or education. It says here there are different salary rules if you work in some healthcare education jobs where the going rate is based on national pay scale. So the third exception is when you can be paid less. So there are people who can be paid less. If you do not meet the usual salary requirements and you do not work in healthcare or education, you might still be eligible if your salary will be at least 33,400 per year. It says you can be paid between 70% and 90% of the standard going rate for your job if your salary is at least 33,400 per year and you meet one of the following criteria. You are under 26, studying or a recent graduate or in professional training. You have a science, technology, engineering or maths PhD level qualifications that are relevant to your job. You have a postdoctoral position in science or higher education. So under these third exceptions, there are different categories that you can fall under, from being under 26 years old to being a recent graduate, or if your most recent visa is a student visa, and so much more. So let me know if you want me to do a separate video explaining these exceptions, especially this third category, and I'll be happy to do that. Another exception is that your job is on the immigration salary list. So the immigration salary list, I believe, has replaced the jobs on the shortage occupation list. Now it says here the immigration salary list is a list of skilled jobs which have lower salary requirements. If your job is on the immigration salary list, you also pay a lower fee to apply for your visa. You must be paid at least 33,400 per year if you are being sponsored for a job on the immigration salary list. Now there's a link here to the immigration salary list. Let me know if you want me to do a video mentioning the jobs that are in the immigration salary list. So in summary, we now have a new minimum salary threshold for skilled worker visa, which is 41,700. So this has moved from the previous 38,700 now to 41,700. However, there are exceptions. There are so many exceptions of people who do not need to meet that salary threshold. So people who can be paid at least 33,400, and you might just fall into that exception. So visit the UK government website to check if you fall under the exception, and feel free to drop any questions you have in the comment section and I'll be very happy to help.